Are we recording?
We are recording.
Okay,
recording
thank
is
you.
in progress.
I thought I would see a little pop down. I didn't see it. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to our regular monthly Trainers Consortium call. I'm really excited about this month. We're going to get some tutorials on instructional tools. Some of you will be familiar with, but some might not be. Amanda Hatherley is going to show us how to use Camtasia. Again, this is kind of a repeat, but it's been a few years, so it'll be nice. And then Kristen Ferguson from IREC, who's been making a lot of the online training that you've seen, the grantee and sub-grantee training, is going to give us a tutorial about using Articulate to create interactive learning experiences. So that will be good. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and do our regular updates from the network. So I think I'll go, Anna, well, no, we'll end with you, Anna. Bill from Oak Ridge, do you have any updates from the lab this month?
Kelly, yeah, I've got something quick since I missed you all last month. Just wanted to do a quick note about the first virtual Train the Trainer for weatherization assistant that we held back on September 28th. Just wanted to say thank you. We had 52 attendees at that. And so we ended up doing 4 one-hour sessions where we introduced and demonstrated the materials, addressed adapting training materials that are nationwide to a specific target audience or local program, and wrapped up with the last session of adapting an overall course plan based upon audience personas. So the materials for training development that this focused on was domestic hot water and HVAC fuel switching in NEAT and MIA. So that was made available by Dropbox. So that went out to everyone who asked to participate in the Train the Trainer. So if you haven't gotten that or you need access to the materials, feel free to let me know. Just contact me directly. Likewise, I know at least one of you all has already incorporated materials into training, and that actually started last month. So if anyone else needs like a quick walk through the process, has other questions regarding using weatherization assistant or anything like that, again, just contact me directly. Last thing is I'd sent out an email after the session asking for feedback to kind of focus on what you all might want to see for the future. So for those of you who didn't get a chance or missed that, it's fallen way down into the inbox or even deleted. I'm hoping to provide one more chance to provide feedback later this week. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, that's it for over here at Oak Ridge.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Bill. Jonathan from NASCAS, do you want to go next? And then I see Lynn on from BPI. If you have any updates, I'll pull you up next.
All right, thanks, Kelly, and a very good day to you and yours, and season's greetings to the rest of you guys. So NASCAS held a Weatherization Day event last Thursday, which was a lot of fun, actually, and we do have the recording of the event for those that would like to view it. A link I have sent to Kelly, and it'll go out with the notes. We've also set a date for our winter training conference, which will be virtual. The board voted to keep that virtual. The dates are February 28th through March 3rd of 2022. And we've got our regional calls coming up, which are not regional. They're more of quarterly calls, but that's what we're calling them. So that's what we got. And those will be on November 18th. There will be a morning and an afternoon session. And we have a call for consultants out right now. So if there's anyone in the network that is interested in being a consultant for NASCASP and provide targeted training on, it could be technical things or RFP development or you name it, We do have, there's a link to sign up for that if you're interested. And then I'll just do the briefest of legislative updates. So one of the WAP stimulus packages appears to have been cut. That was the one that's in the reconciliation package. That leaves one for $3.5 billion in the infrastructure package. And of course, that also leaves the regular WAP allocation. The Senate and the House appropriations committees both agreed at $375 million. So that's where we are. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. That was very concise with a lot of information. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll keep moving, just knowing that one of our presenters is in a slightly tenuous situation. Lynn from BPI or anyone else from BPI, did you have any updates for the gang this month?
This is Lynn. Just a quick update or reminder. BPI created the John Seaman Memorial Scholarship, and applications are due in by November 30th. In order to be eligible to apply, an individual must currently work in the Weatherization Assistance Program or be a U.S. military veteran. If anybody has any questions or needs more information, feel free to reach out to me directly and I will get you that information.
Thanks, Lynn. And wasn't there another a call for one of the technical standards committee that went out?
John,
I think single family technical standards committee or something. I was planning to mention it if nobody was here.
I know that IREC is calling for people to serve on the committees for the energy auditor and QCI revamp, so they might have more information as far as deadlines, because I think it actually, if it hasn't already passed, it will be coming up soon.
Okay, I think I'm thinking of something else. I'll see if I can pull it up in the meantime.
Yeah, Kelly, hey, this is Jonathan. I believe that the STC volunteers was extended through November 30th, if anyone wants to apply to join.
That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. STC, not TSC. Right. So yeah, BPI has a bunch of different working groups. I'll just stick this link in the chat. And if anyone's interested, I know we have a technical cornucopia of experience here. Okay, I don't see Amy Jandusa English listed, but we have a couple call-in users. Amy, are you here? Any updates from CAP for the group? Okay, no updates from CAP this month. Anyone from NREL on? I don't see anyone, but just give it one check. All right, then Anna from IREC, why don't you go ahead and give your updates, and then I'll give my quick updates, and then we'll jump into the main event.
Great, thank you, Kelly. So the main update this month from IREC is transition in our credentialing program. I will actually be stepping down from my role at IREC at the end of this month and leaving my amazing IREC family to take a career sabbatical. I'm part of what I guess is now becoming known as the Great Resignation in the wake of COVID. And first of all, want to acknowledge so many folks on this call. I've been a colleague of yours and have admired learning from you all over the past, it's almost 20 years now that I've been working either in the WAP or in WAP adjacent roles. So, I do very much look forward, after I've taken my little break and kind of reframed what work I want to do. I look forward to reconnecting with you all in the future. But I do want to let everyone know that we have, put our transition into full swing at IREC, and my colleague, Mary Lawrence, who's on the call today, will become the primary point of contact for credential holders, applicants, those who are working with us through the accreditation and instructor certification programs that we run. So I did want to introduce you all to Mary, even though Mary's already introduced herself through some of our annual report communications, but wanted to give Mary a chance just to say hello and ask you all to wish her a very warm welcome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much, Anna. I have worked for IREC for about 10 years, actually, some as a contractor, now as an employee, and I have done a lot of work on the career maps and other workforce projects for IREC. I've been on the peripheral of the credentialing program and have really enjoyed working with Anna the past month or two to be much more involved in the program. So I recognize a few names on the call, and I'll look forward to getting to know others of you in the near future. So thanks so much.
Thank you both, Anna. I'm sure the frenzy of trying to lure you into other employment will start as soon as you indicate your readiness. We're going to miss you. Mary, welcome aboard. Look forward to working with you more closely.
Thank you.
It's big news. Even already knowing it, it's big news. All right, I have one quick update. Let me just share, and then I will hand it over to Amanda. Okay, so you've been hearing that we've been talking about job aids for a while now, and I just wanted to give you all a little preview. Can you see this now? It's like a PDF of step-by-step photos.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So you all are familiar by now with the badges toolkit, and what we did was break out the badges into something like 67 job aids, and they're aligned with the badges. The top number here, this is just kind of a mock-up, but the top number indicates this is badge 1, job aid 1, because some badges have multiple job aids. So we're turning it into this really generic job aid with step-by-step, and then the checklist from the badges. These are some mock-ups, just kind of reformatting them. And the idea is that these would be put out in a generic editable format so that you all as training providers or as grantees could pick these up and customize them to fit your client's needs and add your own kind of branding to them, and then release these as job aids. So each one, the idea is that it would kind of like stand alone. So if you imagine this one here, 2-3, you could print this out and laminate it, and it has the inspection checklist on the back, and it has the kind of step-by-step on the front, and you could have a pack that you hand over to installers. Anyway, I have 3 of the mock-ups, and I'm really interested in sending them around to you all and getting feedback before we go and do the other 64. You know, I'm always very cognizant of wanting to make sure that like if anything, I want to be helping create resources that you can then take and customize and work with your clients. I don't want to be doing the thing for you, but I also don't think that, you know, we don't need you doing the same thing 58 times if we can bring it to the, I don't know, football, what is it, the 80-yard line, 90-yard line, whatever, like the end zone. If we can bring it to the end zone for you and then hand it over and you can do that last bit and really make it fit for what the grantees need, then that seems like the best use of time on the federal and the state level. So I'll send those around. I'm excited to get your feedback. Suzanne asked if they'll eventually be available in Spanish too. I would love that. We have been talking about what resources to have translated, so we will add this to our wish list. Great thought. At the very least, maybe the badges toolkit. But yeah, it wouldn't be that hard to get the little captions translated either. Great question. In other news, it's not quite ready yet, but I think it was just last month John Ackerley was on our call and he was talking about wood stove safety, and you all provided excellent feedback, and so he finalized the visual guide and then he made a PowerPoint to go with it. I held off sending it to you all because unfortunately he listed my name and I wanted him to give you all the credit, just the Weatherization Trainers Consortium, so I'm seeing if he'll fix that, but I'll go ahead and send that. Actually, I'll just drop that link in the chat right now. And here we go. So I'm putting a link in the chat that links to the PDF visual guide and the PowerPoint that took into account all your feedback. So that was great. And with that, I will hand it over to Amanda Hatherley to give us a primer about Camtasia. Are you still there, Amanda?
I am, but now I'm looking at, it says, allow WebEx meetings to record your computer screen so you can share content. Or how do I share? Because
I'll make you presenter. See if that makes it easier.
Okay. No. Oh, great. It looks like I have to update my preferences, so I might have to drop off and let me just see. Go to meeting. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so I have to quit this and reopen it. So I'm just going to quickly do that.
Okay. While we're waiting for Amanda to jump back on, does anyone have any questions about any of the network updates that we talked about? Anyone want to give Ms. Sullivan a fond farewell? Share a best memory? If you're talking, you're all muted. Anna, I know one of my best early memories of you was I was at some conference and I was kind of trying to wheel and deal and see if I could get some blower doors and manometers for some of the training centers at some conference. And Dave Heppenstall, and this is like early on, so it was like 2009 or 2010. I hardly knew anyone yet. And he talked about like, oh, if Anna was here, she'd have like 5 blower doors ready for our training center already. She's so good at this. Okay, so that whole 11-second thing is very uncomfortable when it's dead silent. Oh, Amanda's back. Thank goodness. You guys are so quiet today. Are you all muted? Are you trying to talk with me? Oh, Anna got a thanks for everything. Always been excellent. Wishing you the best. Okay, Amanda, can we test your audio? Hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
And can you see my screen now?
I can. Thank you for saving me from babbling into the void. All right, take it away.
Sorry, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry. I hope. Let me know if it gets glitchy or something, because I'm on a Starbucks Wi-Fi in the parking lot. Okay, so this is when you open up Camtasia. This is what the screen looks like, and Camtasia is a really great software program that we've used for years, and you can make really good, quick videos using Camtasia that you can then like add for classes or training materials or whatever. It is in Mac and available in for PC, and this is the Mac version, although they basically pretty much do the same thing. So you'll see that there's an import media here. And one way you can do it is you can actually like click on this and you can import a file, but you can also just go like this and you can drag in a file. So down here, you can see there's a track 1 and a track 2 down here, and you can actually end up with multiple tracks, and each track is a layer in the video. So I'm going to drag in a picture into here, and you can see that it is on track 3 because I didn't drag it down. You can put it any old place. And now you can see on the big screen that there's what that will look like. You can get this little picture and you can drag it out in time. So you can see here where it says 30 above. This would now hold for 30 seconds if you dragged it that far. If you only wanted it in the first 15 seconds of your little video, this is where it would be. So I'm going to drag in a couple of different little pictures. Let me see, I'll put this one in here and make that be 15 seconds. So when I start playing this, for example, I'm going to start playing from here. You'll see that when it gets to the next little picture I dragged in, it changes. So that's how easy it is to import just pictures in it. And then if you wanted to actually record something, you could record as well, either an audio track or you could record like a PowerPoint at the same time. So I'll show you how to do that now. And stop me if you have any questions. So I'm going to go up to here where it says record, and I'm going to hit record. And I don't want to, for this instance, I'm not going to record the screen. I'm going to turn off the screen. I'm just going to record audio. So let me start recording. I have no idea what to say, but I'm just going to say welcome to the Weatherization Trainers Network presentation on Camtasia, and I'm going to show you how to use Camtasia. I guess that's about it.
I can mess it up for you.
Yes, okay, you messed it up. Okay, that's good. Okay, thanks everybody. Now I'm stopping recording. And now you'll see up here, there's a little record thing. I can drag that down onto another track, and now I've got some recording here. I can click on that recording if I want it to be a bit louder, and up in this corner, I can boost the sound a bit to make it a bit louder because it was a little. So now I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'll hit the space bar, and it will now play what I just recorded. I have no idea what to say, but I'm just going to say welcome to the Weatherization Trainers Network presentation on Camtasia, and I'm going to show you how to use Camtasia. I guess that's about it. Okay. So here's Kelly. Here's Kelly messing it up for me. So I don't want that in there. So I'm going to just go like this and move it down. So now I don't have Kelly saying that. And actually at the beginning, I don't want the bit that says, I don't know what to say here. So I can expand by using this button. I can make it a lot bigger, and I can see where did it start to say on this timeline that I don't know what to say. I have no idea what to say, but I'm just going to say welcome to the. Okay, welcome to the. Let's see. It's going to say. I'm going to make it a little larger. Welcome to. So let's see. Say welcome to. So it's right around here is where I start saying welcome. So I'm also just going to get rid of that and see if I did it right. Welcome to the. Yeah. So now I can make the timeline a little bit smaller. And so now I've got some audio, I've got a couple of pictures. I might want to make this picture, so I've got 2 pictures here, like that. And that's how you lay tracks down. You can do a whole audio recording, and then you can edit it as you go through. Then you can start putting either individual slides in here if you don't want to sort of just be recording a PowerPoint, or you can put in other pictures right between these 2 pictures, that picture and that picture. I'm going to put in a little transition. So up here where it says transitions, I'm going to do, let's see, a blind. And all I do is I grab this blind, I pull it down in between these 2 pictures. So now you'll see a transition. Presentation on Camtasia, and I'm going to show you how to use Camtasia. So there's all kinds of cool things you can do. You can add in annotations, so you can add in like a little arrow if you wanted to. And the same thing, you just drag and drop the arrow down onto onto a timeline or another track. Let me see, I'll add it down, sorry, to this track here, like that. And now I've got a little line here, and I don't necessarily want it right where it is. I want it to be right around here. So now I'm going to should be an arrow that shows up, but I don't know why it's not showing up. Are you how? Okay, forget about that. I'm going to try and do it again. I'll do it with a this arrow here. Oh, I know it. Let me see. I can add it. Huh. Okay, forget that. I don't know why that isn't working, but anyway, oh, it's very easy to add in like annotations, arrows, and it may just be, let's see.
Sometimes with those, Amanda, I just drag them right over to the picture. So like what you have now.
Yeah,
but I might be doing it wrong.
No, I don't think so. Let's see if it's there. No, somehow there's supposed to be another track available, but they seem to be frozen. Anyway, you can do all types of great things like that. Another thing you can do, and let me just move up to here now, so I'm on a blank part of the track, is you can add in a video. Like I have this A Tale of Weatherization. So now I'm going to drag that in and just have it right here. So everybody's familiar with A Tale of Weatherization, right? A Tale of Weatherization. Now, something you could do with this is you can click on the timeline, the line here, and you can go separate the video and the audio. And so now I could actually get rid of either the video or the audio and put in my own pictures, put in my own audio track. If I had made a mistake, or if I brought in something and I have a video I did previously, but some of the audio's changed, I can just go in and now I can just individually take out little aspects of it that way. So that's another way you can do it. Another way is if you want to record the screen as well, you can just go to record and you would turn on this camera and you'd go start recording. And for this one, it's just going to start recording the screen if that's a PowerPoint that I have, or a picture. If I open up another picture, it'll start recording it. And I could now play a PowerPoint, record the whole PowerPoint. And then when I stopped recording, at that stage, there would be yet another item up here. And I'm now going to get rid of Grandma's house. Just click and delete. And I could just pull that down. And then I could separate out that video and audio. And I could get rid of that bad background there if I wanted to, or not. So, and there's so many different things you can do within here, adding in transitions and animations, but it's very, very easy. And once you've done it and you've decided this is what I want, you just go up here where it says export, and you export it. You probably save it first, but you can export it as a local file, and it will save it as a video track, which MP4, which you can then use other places. So that's just a real basic overview. Any questions? Or people have, or I don't know why, maybe now there's a track 4 here I can put in that annotation. Let me see.
I just have one question, Amanda.
Now I've got it. Now here's my arrow.
Oh, there you go.
And I can make it a lot thicker, or, you know, however you want, and wherever that is placed, it's going to work. So, you know, here, when I get to here, now there's the arrow. Because I have the arrow and I'm moving wherever I'm putting it. Yeah. So sorry, go on, Kelly.
Oh yeah. Well, first I was going to say, after you did a tutorial on this a few years ago, I was totally won over. It has already saved countless hours just in not having to like re-record a whole presentation or something, and the annotations work really well for arrows to like call things out when you're talking about them, or they have like little speech bubbles that can come up. So if you just want to add a little note to something of like, oh, we'll talk about this, or you'll be asked about this. The one question I was going to ask, Amanda, is do you ever use the embedded quizzes?
I haven't ever used the embedded quizzes. No, not in Camtasia. In fact, I didn't even know they had them. That's cool.
I really like them. I'm not seeing, I don't know, it must be like behaviors or, but there's a way so that if somebody's watching the video at a certain point, I think I tried to make it so that it wouldn't be more than like, if a video was like 8 minutes long, I tried to insert some little quiz into it so the video just would stop the autoplay and a quiz pops up, and you can have open-ended or multiple choice, and then oh yeah, there you go. And then if you export it to any kind of LMS, then that's all goes with it, and then you get reports back.
Oh,
It's
cool.
a
I
little
had
bit,
no idea.
yeah, it's really handy. It's a little bit like if you actually want to have user level data, you have to have them enter their name every time, which I found a little bit clunky. So it's more like as a overall formative assessment type thing, or if you want to try and get extra distractors, if you're trying to build a bank of multiple choice questions, you can put open-ended questions in there and then see what they put in there, and then you don't have to kind of try and make up the plausible distractors. You just get a whole bunch of easy ones from what people put in that might be wrong. But
Oh, that's so cool. I've never used that feature. That's so interesting. Okay, great. Thank you.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Pamela said she can't wait to try Camtasia. It looks fun. Suzanne said they love Camtasia. Suzanne, do you use it in any ways that maybe people haven't thought of before?
That's a really good question that I'm probably not the one to ask because I'm not using it on a day-to-day basis
Oh,
right now, but I know Chad's been using it a lot, pretty much self-taught himself, and he really likes some of the features. We do a lot of the splitting of the audio and video to, re-recording so it doesn't take you forever. I don't know if
yeah.
we're using the quiz feature. I don't believe so because we have other tools for that, but it's something I think we're going to look at.
Cool. Becca said it's very intuitive. Oh, Mark says it does the best job at closed captioning video to meet ADA requirements. Thanks for that tip, Mark.
Cool.
Yeah,
and it's
I
not
also find
super
it very
expensive
intuitive.
either.
Oh, I know. And it's not like a subscription. You buy it and you have it. It's just, that is a beautiful bonus in today's like rental world. Great. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I know that you're on your way, and I'm so glad that this worked.
Yeah, me too. Very glad it worked. So now I have
What
to
a
give
world.
it back to you, right?
What's that?
I have to stop sharing. Okay. You back. It's up to you.
Oh, Mark said you can import SRT files directly, saving lots of time if you have the other files outsourced. Good to know. You can also export, like if you have a YouTube channel or anything for your training center, you can export directly there. I always like having the local file on my computer, but it is a nice feature. So if you're making things and just posting them where trainees might go. Any other questions for Amanda before we switch to Articulate? Okay, hearing none, I will hand it over. Let me see, Kristen, where are you? I want to make you the presenter.
Okay. Tell me if
Oh,
it's
there you
letting
are.
me share my screen.
You've got it.
Is
Yep.
that good?
So you all should be familiar with Kristen Ferguson from IRAC, but she graciously agreed to talk with us about another really awesome training tool, Articulate. Take it away, Kristen.
Yeah, speaking of expensive and subscription tools, that's what this one is. So, and Amanda, I use Camtasia all the time too. I often do it for screen captures. And so like if I need to show somebody how to do something, if I get the same question over and over again, I'll just record myself doing it on the screen and narrate it. And I can, highlight anything. So I find it's just really easy to kind of make quick tutorials with them. And they're the product is by TechSmith, and their tutorials on how to use the tool are great. So this product is called Articulate 360, and I use it to make self-paced training. And there's a couple different features of it. Some are, it produces kind of what's called a SCORM file, where you can import it into a learning management system. And it's basically kind of like PowerPoint, but it's just really, really sophisticated PowerPoint and what it can do. And it's got its own characters you can put in. You don't have to use, photogenic characters. You could use cartoon looking characters. They call it illustrated characters, and they have images and things like that. And you can kind of make your own template. But what we use it for is really recreating the learner's environment, right? So why this might work for you guys is that maybe you have hybrid courses where there's really important stuff that they need to do in your classroom with their hands and with that instructor, but there's other things that they could do either before or after they're in your classroom. And I don't know if you can hear my video. You don't have to hear it. It's distracting if you do. Can you hear the audio?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure. So this is kind of like a series of things. This is from the Weatherization Assistance Program sub-grantee training. And so there's kind of some direct instruction, and then there's a chance for the learner kind of to practice, like, okay, now you learned a little bit, what do you think? And you're going to kind of check, what you think. And then, so it's a little knowledge check. And it says, no, that's not exactly right. Why don't you try again? And so, you can pick as many times as you want before it kind of gives you feedback and things like that. And then, here's kind of, we call them like an interaction, where you want the learner to do something, and then you can have them enter information in there. You can have them do multiple choice and things like that. So, I've found this tool really easy to build, and certainly kind of with some instruction. And the limits of what I find is I'm not a great graphic designer, so that's always kind of a little hard for me. We actually are fortunate enough to kind of work with a graphic designer who can kind of help us do, the layouts for it, the look and feel. And then I work mostly on the content, so if you see something, you can, it just makes it a little more interactive than simply a narrated video where somebody's just going through the PowerPoint slides. What this is typically doing, this Articulate product is trying to do, is offer ways to engage the learner so they're not passively sitting there. I was trying to preview my screen, but I think it's going to take a little while. So these are, try one more time maybe. So these are kind of different ways that you might set up interactions, set up activities that learner is going to do on their job. You might say, here are 3 tools. This is the job you're going to do. Select which of the tools you're going to do. Or you might say, here are the 5 steps that you need to do for installation. Drag them and drop them in order and things like that. So there's kind of a number of different ways that you can challenge that learner to do things that they practice. And then there's other ways where you can just kind of, have information presented and the learner has to click to access it. So there's different ways of engagement. So that's called Storyline, and it's part of this suite of tools. And the other part is called Rise, where you can kind of build everything online and also kind of like a little mini course. So you build this little mini course, and it has all these different components you can put in. You can put like a text block, you can put a little knowledge check question, you can put with feedback, you can put kind of an interactive image here if you want things to pop up that the learner can kind of go to. You can, and so it gives you, like, this is really easy to build with also, and this is for online. You can embed video. So there's like a lot of different ways that you could do this in Rise. So there's kind of a couple different things they have. I'm just trying to get to my tab again here. It's right under this thing. Second. So Articulate has, and then you can also, yeah, so Articulate has Storyline is what I was saying, that I build my kind of self-paced trainings that go into the online. Then they have the Rise, which is the online. It's like really easy, and it's really optimized for mobile devices. They have a content library where you can, use all of these images that they have and characters. And then their review platform is, if you develop something in Storyline, you can actually have multiple reviewers comment on it so that you can go back and kind of fix it. So this whole product is a subscription service and for a year, it's about $1,000 per person. And then there is kind of a team license as well. But, we definitely get our money's worth from, what we create, we find is very engaging for our learners. But I can tell you by far the more challenging part is not mastering the tool itself, but it's really kind of coming up with the realistic content and the scenarios that you put the learner in and the challenges that you give them, to see how they interact with the content so that you're not just kind of presenting things. So, here's another example of, this is again the sub-grantee training. We're trying to say, to see how things are going to impact, this is happened to be about production. And so, they thought they were going to produce about this many per month, but then they really have to, there's going to be some changes made because of these different things. And so we're kind of highlighting to the learner how things change. We made some other modules that were more budget oriented also. So the learner actually had to kind of do some spreadsheet work, and it's not necessarily an Excel spreadsheet, but it's a table that's recreated that, simulates this. And then the other training we've done recently is about, there's a new online tool for solar installers to get, instant permitting. And so we kind of trained people to use that online tool by doing screen captures and then animating them, right? So what happens if you're going to, click this button. And so when they actually click the button within their training, what they see on the screen in real life, shows up, right? So we were able to recreate everything they were able to see and have them practice it in the training itself, in the learning management system, so that then they're prepared to use the tool itself. So those are the kinds of things that, that I use it for, so that, and obviously you can add narration to all of this. You can embed video. So the limit really is only what you come up with. So when you're developing your, training materials, your instructional materials, and you say, I really want the learner to be able to do this when they're done, then what you're creating here is kind of the practice. Well, let them practice this. All right. So I'm going to create this activity to let them practice this. Oh, wait, they need to know this before they can practice this. And then you kind of build it out, from that. So that is Articulate Storyline, Articulate 360, that contains the Storyline product and this Rise product as well. This is kind of this is what it looks like when you use it, and then this is what it looks like when you build it. And it's really kind of just this Rise product is intended to be really, really straightforward in building things. And so you say, I want to add something. This is kind of editing, but if you say, I want to add something here, it says, what do you want to add? Do you want to add, text, or do you want to add an image? Do you want to have a gallery of images? Are you going to be putting in something interactive? And the knowledge checks are not just multiple choice. They kind of give you a variety, but you can do matching. So there's quite a bit that they tried to make easily accessible for people to be able to build, as long as you can bring your good content to do it. So I think that's kind of, Kelly, is there anything else in particular you'd like me to show?
There are a few questions, and maybe that will inspire you to show other features if that comes up. Mark was asking, can you incorporate 360 video, which I'm assuming he means like the kind of like the stuff realtors are doing, with hotspots. So that's kind of two different questions.
Yeah, definitely hotspots in storyline. And I thought I just saw that you can now do 360 video. Um, I think this is it right here. So it's very new.
Oh, there you go.
So as long as you can film that 360 image, you can certainly put it on a new slide, and absolutely. And then what you do is you have the learner click on, you put the icons wherever you want, and then the learner clicks on them, and you decide what comes up when they click on it. So that's that.
And then Mark also was asking if Articulate has an assessment mode.
I mean, you can certainly build any assessments that you want, and it will do, it does, because what you would do is you would kind of insert like an interaction that would kind of grade that, you know, hey, you got it right, you get this many points or something like that. So it definitely has that. And then you can, at the end, put in kind of a score. I don't think the one that I put in here has one of those interactions. But it does have that feature. Pretty much anything that, yeah, but these are great questions. So keep them coming, because it has not stumped me yet on what can be incorporated.
Okay. Yeah, Mark asked for some follow-up asking, but can you use 360 video? Mark, I'm going to hazard a guess, since it's such a new feature that maybe we don't know yet. I'm not sure. Kristen?
I haven't used it yet. I just saw it kind of come out recently. So,
Okay.
but I'd love to use it. I just need to figure out how to film that image. You know, I don't know if it's just that panorama you do with your camera, your phone camera, or if there's kind of more sophisticated ways to film things that work better.
Andrew asked, are there any plans to offer any consultation or classes for training centers on incorporating something like this, like reviewing the course library, select a course, develop a course, etc.?
I mean, I don't know about that. I can tell you that the tools themselves have really good online training for free and everything like that. However, so using the tool is not going to be your limitation. The part that we could all use courses on, and I'm going to include myself in that, is really getting to the heart of, what you want that training to be about. What's that really good activity you're going to have your learner practice? Because once you figure that out, then you could say, oh, I see, I want to make like a branching scenario where if they choose this, they go here. And then you can actually kind of learn, about the tool that way. But I think the harder part is, figuring out what you want that learner to learn. And Kelly, if I'm not addressing the question correctly, please add.
No, I think that's a really good, it's a really good point to make. I think you're right. A lot of these tools, I was actually going to ask next, given your experience with tools like Camtasia and like SurveyMonkey and this one, would you say that this was pretty intuitive? Was it pretty easy to kind of be self-taught in using the actual tool?
I mean, Camtasia is very intuitive and very user-friendly, and they have great trainings on TechSmith. And they also used to have another screen capture tool. I can't remember if they still do, but Camtasia, I think, is, if you're doing any kind of online training, or even if you're not, you can use it and develop, videos and short videos for in-class training too. I think Camtasia is awesome and very intuitive. I think Storyline was relatively easy to pick up. Like I said, the part that I don't do well is the actual visual design of the training. So I definitely had to work with a graphic designer, funnily enough, even to develop kind of just what's called the look and feel. How are we going to present text, in a consistent way? How, what's the best background to have? What are tables going to look like? How am I going to do my interactions? And it's funny because it doesn't look that hard to do. It's just hard for me to do. But the actual working on the slide is pretty easy. But all of these things are, selected by you. You put them on here. You decide when they're going to appear. It's definitely not a short process. Like Camtasia, you can kind of get in and out of relatively easily. Storyline designing is definitely more time intensive. And, you know, this is an audio track you add. We also do closed captions, which is another, you know, another layer of time. So I found like this investment in time is pretty long. But this Rise product that kind of makes these, they're really designed for mobile. Believe it or not, here I can kind of I can show you a little bit. I think about you know, what it looks like on the different, you know, screens. This is super intuitive and easy to do, and it's part of the same product. I don't think you can get it separately, but it's really, really easy to do, and I think people love it because it is so mobile friendly. So yeah, so we'll kind of be doing more of this this Rise tool, which is still, you know, still allows the learner to be engaged. You can still kind of ask them, you know, questions and ask them to interact with the material. You know, this is kind of direct presentation of the material, but you know, you can ask them what they think. You can insert charts, you know, and here's you can make a video from Camtasia and put it in here. So these are good questions. And again, it's really just to kind of show you, you know, as you're getting into the online world, you know, what you're, you know, how different ways to both streamline your work. You know, if you find that you're doing the same thing over and over again, making a video of it is just a great way to do that. You know, if you, Camtasia really can do quite a bit actually as well. I'm thinking even with the quiz tool and stuff like that, it can be a little more interactive than it seems. And that can also go in a learning management system.
Yeah, two more things. So Andrew had a follow-up, not really a question, but a comment. But Andrew, I think I can address this one. He was talking specifically about retooling an existing class when he asked his original question about if they would be offering like consultation or classes on incorporating something like this in your course library. I think that in terms of like the instructional design workshop stuff that Kristen and I were involved in this last year, that's not on the docket, but I'm sure that, you know, I just heard of someone who's going to be having a lot of free time on her hands in the future that might be interested. Or I think there are resources out there for that kind of consultation, Andrew. I don't think that it would necessarily be coming from DOE. I didn't see anything like that in the plans for the budget years that just started, but I do think there's a lot of expertise out there, so that's a great question. Another question, Kristen, about the Articulate, especially since you brought up the Camtasia, like what kind of metrics does someone get if you've used this software to produce something and you have those hotspots and different questions and interactions? What level of data can you get as a training provider on your users?
You can get so anytime they take I'm not saying the right word. So like as Kelly mentioned in Camtasia, if you embed quizzes and you have that product in a learning management system, it'll tell you what the responses to those quiz questions were. In Storyline, you can you know, find out how many people answered the questions correctly or not. You can, you know, give them a passing or failing score at the end of it at your determination and things like that. So I'm trying to think of what else. So you can certainly score whatever you need to, and you could have an assessment where you say, okay, take these 10 questions and score that assessment and say, yeah, you passed, or no, you didn't pass. I'm trying to show I'm trying to show Mark the no, this isn't it. So Mark, you can embed video, and that's what this I'm trying to show it to you in the quick way. So we did make an interactive video. So look, we actually had a video that we shot. Then we imported it into Storyline, and then we added an interaction where this is just kind of a demonstration of it, where the learner is going to click on those icons and then get some direct instruction. And within that direct instruction, they can, you know, take a quiz question, and then they can watch a little 2-minute direct instruction video. So we call that an interactive video. And when they're done with this little part, they actually went back to that video that was in progress, if that makes sense. So Mark, I don't know if that answers your question. It wasn't a 360 video, but you certainly can annotate videos and have the learner interact within that video. Right now it would kind of stop the video so that something else could be presented in front of the learner.
Excellent. I think that I'm guessing that the question about the 360 video had more to do with being able to kind of manipulate it and go through that video yourself, but I'm not seeing anything from Mark.
Yeah, I don't know how to, I mean, I really haven't done anything with 360 video yet. And Camtasia is really the video editing tool, and it's a very powerful editing tool. And I don't know exactly how it would handle that yet. So that will, but we know where this is going with the, 360 and kind of that, simulated environment. It's just so powerful for the learner. So we know there's got to be a lot of good, tools that can work with it.
Yeah, kind of like I don't know if any of the rest of you are old enough to remember those delightful Choose Your Own Adventure paperbacks that were so fun, but it's like that for a learner.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can choose your own adventure by clicking around a 360 tour.
Yeah, and I guess the main thing that I would remind people is sometimes we think that bells and whistles are what make learning really good. But it's really about when Kelly's saying, okay, you're choosing your own adventure, it's really about the quality of that adventure, right? So it's not just about the coolness of them being able to walk through a hallway. It's, what you chose for them to see along the hallway that would really emulate what they do on the job. And then are they faced with a decision that they'd have to on the job? If you can do that, you can actually use a pretty straightforward and simple tool, and that learner actually gets a really good learning experience from it.
That's a solid end note. That's a good note to end on. Instructional design is what guides it all. Thank you so much, Kristen, and thank you. I think we lost Amanda. She had to continue on her journey. But thank you for these presentations. I see that, yes, Mark, excellent point. It puts the learner in a situation where they have to be aware where they are and what they should be looking for instead of just kind of feeding that stuff to them. Yeah, I hope this was helpful to you all. If you have any follow-up questions or want more info about any of the tools, feel free to email me or any of the presenters that we heard from today. I'll send out the video when we're done. And I hope you all had a lovely Halloween. And if you haven't already, go vote. Go vote, everyone. All right, happy November. I'll talk to you next month. Bye.
Bye, Kelly.
Bye.